This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. Look, I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. To let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best. So I had to calm down before I address this one. I'm going to fucking read this to you. And then I'm going to tell you why I'm so disgusted. I had to wait like, I don't know, 2-3 days before I responded to this. This is how fucking pissed off and disgusted I am. Anthony Oksenholt, Access 228. This is from the Cheeto in charge, the anointed cocksucker in the White House. This morose motherfucker. I'm still pissed off at this one. This is his Twitter. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured, struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. How disgusting do you have to be? How utterly fucking disgusting do you really have to be? Let me tell y'all how Rob Reiner, meathead that I grew up watching when I grew up watching All in the Family reruns on Nick at Night as a kid, when him and Carol O'Connor let me tell you what Rob Reiner personally, how he personally touched my life. Anybody remember the movie Ghost of Mississippi? Because I don't remember as a kid learning about Medgar Evers. Ghost of Mississippi. Had Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, Bill Cobbs. Love Bill Cobbs. That was a great actor. I don't know, is he even still alive? I think he's dead now. Let's see. Let's see. No, he died last year. That was another good man. Another damn good actor. Very talented actor. Um, Rob Reiner produced that movie. And from that movie, I actually got really into learning the history of my state. Because of Rob Reiner in that movie and my desire to learn more about the history of the state of Mississippi, I have met good friends like Jerry Mitchell. Yes, I count Jerry among one of my friends. Um, and every time I think there's nothing more that man can do to impress me on his contributions to humanity, he does it again. But that's neither here nor there. I've actually dedicated my next book to, or one of the books I'm working on, I've dedicated it to Jerry and his contributions. But again, we're talking about Rob Reiner. I don't agree with everything Rob Reiner stood for. I don't agree with everything anybody does 100% of the time. If everybody agrees on everything all the time, then somebody isn't thinking. General George Patton said that, and he was right. But let me tell you what I do agree with Rob Reiner on. His dedication to humanity. His dedication to call out bullshit when he's seen it. And he's seen a lot of bullshit with Donald Trump. And he had no problem calling it out. That's a man. That is a man of honor and integrity. A man who doesn't give a shit that he'll offend you as long as he's doing it for the right reasons. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Anthony, you just described Trump. Not even close. Not even close. I did not just describe Trump. Trump likes to piss people off for the sake of, ha ha, I can do that. Some people have accused me of doing that. Maybe they're right to a point. But let me tell you what I'm going to do when Trump finally dies. And I'm convinced I'll damn sure outlive him. Hell, I'm working on giving these up. I'm around about half his age. I'm sure I'll outlive him. Since you have given Rob Reiner such a good send off there, Cheeto, when you die, I will go to your gravesite and I'm going to pour a case of Corona on your grave. I'm just going to pass it through my kidneys first. Because that's what you deserve. This is a sick, demented, narcissistic motherfucker we have in office right now. And what scares the shit out of me is he's got his finger on that nuclear switch. If that doesn't scare you, then you're not paying attention. This is dangerous. This is scary. I don't scare easy. I don't fear anybody that shits behind a pair of shoes. But I'm at the point of being fucking terrified of what I'm seeing right now running this goddamn country. This is the most powerful man in the world. You know what? I don't care what anybody says. The President of the United States is the most powerful man in the fucking world. When you control and you are the supreme commander of the largest military in the world, the Marine Corps directly answers to the president. The entire military directly, they have to salute the president, even though Trump's a fucking draft dodger. This is fucking scary, y'all. And this is what he does. This is how he behaves. This is how he conducts himself. If you're not scared, you're not paying attention. It takes a lot to shake me up. This motherfucker shakes me up. This motherfucker, with the way he talks about people, I don't get it. The way he talks about women. I've got two sisters and a daughter. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. The way he talks about women, it's conduct unbecoming of a human being. I don't think he is human. I think he's a cockroach. You talk about somebody who was murdered, and that's exactly how Rob Reiner died. He was murdered by his son. Okay, so his son had problems. His son's probably going to prison for the rest of his life, hopefully, where he needs to be for parricide. But for you to put your own political bullshit in there, you're sick. And this ain't just about Rob Reiner. Though I have a lot of respect for Rob Reiner, as I think I've just conveyed. This is just look at some of the shit he does. He is the king of divide and conquer. And this is what y'all voted for? Proudly? You and your fucking MAGA hat, your fucking Trump sticker, and your fucking Trump flag? There's a whole store up on I-40 in Knoxville dedicated to Trump. Why? He's a fucking politician. He's a president. He don't give a fuck about you. He don't give a fuck if you take your next breath. But this is the kind of shit that y'all want to. Oh, look at 45, 47. Yeah. That's what y'all voted for. And you know what's going to happen? This fucking country's going to shit. I want to take this sidetrack for just a second and address something else because I actually got into it with a friend of mine just a few days ago, and I had to calm down from that too before I did this video. Some of y'all are going to be saying, well, Anthony, you didn't say nothing about when Biden was in office. We knew Biden was a fuck up. You'll never once hear me say, oh, yeah, Biden, great president. We ain't had a good president since fucking Teddy. That's the last fucking real president we've had in this country. Worth a shit. Was Teddy motherfucking Roosevelt. And if you know your history, that's been over a century ago. The best ex-president we ever had just recently died, and that was Jimmy Carter. He wasn't worth shit as president, but as an ex-president, he was a damn good dude. You'll never see Trump out there building fucking houses for Habitat for Humanity. I'm not a Democrat. Obviously I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat either. I'm a man with some fucking balls. If you can't stand on that, 10 toes down, stand on business, I don't know what to do for you. But this disgusting little son of a bitch that y'all think is so damn funny, I don't get how y'all can actually consider this fucking decent by any stretch. Y'all take care. I can't for the life of me. This is about as calm as I've been to do this video in the last, 2-3 days because I'm so goddamn disgusted. When I read that fucking tweet, I threw up. Literally. I fucking threw up. I threw up twice. It physically made me sick. Y'all have a good day. Access 228, Anthony Oksenholt.